everyone? Welcome back to another monthly update. As you can see, my portfolio has gone up roughly $7,000. So, yeah, if you're new here, please like, subscribe if you enjoy the video. But yeah, I just pretty much track my dividend portfolio and 401ks, etc., to kind of just see how things turn out over time. So yeah, we'll dive in on this video. So overall, when we're looking at the portfolio, $20,000 in total portfolio gain, roughly 23%. And there has been a little bit of change in the portfolio overall. And I did not invest $7,000, so we can kind of dive through some of the winners from the month. Overall, I beat the market. I want to say my portfolio grew roughly 4% compared to negative for the S&P over the past month, which is great. But yeah, overall, let's kind of start to dive through. What did I invest this month? So in the month of July, my income was pretty high. I had a good quarter for work. Again, I do sales, so have a commission on a quarterly basis, and so kind of blew things out of the water. Got a good income or salary paycheck this month. Things may change in this quarter coming up, but overall, invested $10,500, roughly 40% of my total income, and my personal expenses were roughly $3,100, and that was pretty much, had some car things that I had to take care of, gas, but also I think, new tires this month. That was the big expense. Geez, they're expensive. But yeah, I had to get new tires, some miscellaneous things in there, just probably one-off purchases. July is always an interesting month. Always the summer months. You have friends, family around for, July 4th, things like that. So maybe some additional expenditure during those weeks. But yeah, then looking at the dashboard right now, my total investments are $370,000 compared to my cash position, which is $230,000. Again, for those that are brand new to the video, to my channel, I guess, I have such a significant cash portion because I'm just waiting to buy a house. So I have a lot in a money market fund where I'm honestly just biding my time, waiting for the correct house to kind of pop on the market. It's brutal out there. I live in a high cost of living area of the United States, and it seems like housing prices have not budged an inch. So it's tough, but yeah, just looking to buy something, kind of waiting it out for the best house that I can find. And I know I'm going to be paying a lot in interest, but yeah, honestly curious if people have any thoughts on like where they see the housing market going in the near to long-term future. I'm curious over the next few months what Warsh is going to do with interest rates, how the market's going to react, both the housing and financial markets. But yeah, so just still waiting. If the right house comes on the market, great. If not, I'm just making a roughly like 3.4% in interest. So not great, not terrible though. Hopefully keeping up somewhat with inflation, maybe a little behind. But overall, that is roughly $600,000 in liquid net worth. So let's dive into the portfolio itself. So as you can see, actually, you can't really see because there we go. So overall, market went really well. I did sell out of one position that really had no point, honestly, at this point in time. And it was my, drum roll please, him stock. Sold that a couple weeks ago. They just had another lawsuit brought against them, and it wasn't a large position. And I figured, honestly, for this portfolio, what I'm trying to build on this Fidelity brokerage account is not really companies like HIMS. I want to be a little bit more conservative, keep pace with the S&P, maybe beat it slightly, but ideally beat it. But yeah, just build out something that, I can live on as a bridge account. Ideally retiring early. Again, I'm 31, so want to be retired roughly at around the age of 50 or so. But just trying to build something out, and this didn't really align with my goals in this, so cut my losses or winnings, I guess, but just felt like it wasn't the right fit for this portfolio. So bounced out of that. But again, some of the other major players over this past month, MasterCard, again, I've been buying during the dips, started buying a little ahead of its 52-week lows, but kept kind of dollar cost averaging in, bought some in that 480 area, 470s area, and continued to buy because their quarterly earnings just don't match at all. I thought it was just, as I had mentioned in previous videos, that it was just kind of lost in the momentum of AI. And so, yeah, I continued to add, and then, experience some growth out of it, which is great. Next big winner, Microsoft after the earnings. Again, same idea. I thought they were just kind of out of favor. And what do you know? Jumps around, up 24% right now. Probably could have invested more into that position. But yeah, then Google had a little bit of a downturn, but it's starting to rebound. SCHD has done extremely well this year. Again, bought it last year, started building up my position when it was out of favor, and now it's grown pretty considerably, up 21% this year, beating out easily the S&P, QQQ, everything really. So that, building up this SCHG position. Amazon's kind of started to go off again. I do want to add more, but just haven't really found the correct timing on that. Again, I probably shouldn't be trying to time the market, but so be it. So those were the major winners, I think. Still dollar cost averaging into this Fidelity Bitcoin ETF. Again, it's just marginal. I'm doing maybe $100 a month, 100 to 200 maybe if I'm feeling dangerous. But it's not. If I lost this money tomorrow, I'm not going to cry about it. So feel like I might as well have a little bit of skin in the game when it comes to Bitcoin, and just see where things play out. But when I look at my portfolio breakdown, this pie chart right here, I am trying to keep these single holdings to right now at least in that like maximum 5% range. With the growth with MasterCard, it's obviously gone above 5%. Microsoft's at 4.7. And then ideally my major buckets are going to be DGRO, SCHD, FXAIX, and SCHG. But going to have these individual positions just to add a little bit of fun to my life. Why not? I'm enjoying this. So, but yeah, MasterCard's doing well. Microsoft is starting to make a name for itself in my portfolio, but yeah, overall happy with how things turned out for this previous month, and we'll keep going from there. So after that, my annual goals, overall 2026 annual goals, I want to invest another $40,000 into this brokerage account. Right now I'm just over 50%, so I'm pretty much a month behind schedule, and I still believe in what Tom Lee's saying. I could just be a fool for this, and again, stupid for timing the market, but yeah, maybe August is going to be a great month, but September, October, midterms, all that stuff coming up, I could see a downturn. Tom Lee thinks that there's one, and sure, I guess I'll just maybe learn a valuable lesson that he's wrong or that he's right. But I do believe that something could happen over the next few months. People testing out wars, figuring out what he's doing with interest rates, all of that, his sort of limited communications, etc. Midterms, a bunch of like the SPAXX stock all of a sudden becoming available to trade, etc. So I'm curious to see how things will play out. But yeah, just we'll continue to try to hit my goal. In downturns, when there's months that things start to go downhill, that's usually where I invest a little bit more, like the month of June and March. Goal number 2, SCHD, 21,000, 18,000 for DGRO. I wanted to invest roughly 25,000 into each. Again, I feel like my mentality's changed since January 1st or December of last year when I really put these goals together. So we'll see. I did just hit with growth SCHD 25,000. So I technically hit it, but I wanted that to actually be my cost basis, or the cost that I actually put into it. And yeah, who knows? Little word salad there. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to end up hitting that goal, but that's fine. We'll just keep investing little by little into each of those. Again, it's more of the mindset, like, do I want strictly dividends, or do I want to be getting taxed on this when my income's so high, versus just having growth run show for now, so we'll see what happens overall. And then my average personal monthly expenses, again, I paid for a lot in June, knew that was kind of coming. So overall, if you exclude that, I'm roughly in that 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, so right around that 2,000-ish area. So not terrible, not the best, but let's actually update this. 43, boom. So yeah, same thing, roughly. $5,000 average for the trailing 3 months. Again, if you exclude June, I've been pretty consistent in that $3,000 range. And that kind of lines up exactly with where my average brokerage investments are for my trailing 3 months. So if I can keep my average brokerage and my average monthly personal expenses around the same level, I feel like I'll be in a pretty good spot. I think that's a good way to live. Overall goals for my 30s, I want to hit $1 million in investments, and I want to receive $1,000 in dividends in a single month. I just think that'd be kind of fun to hit. And then let's go to my dividends for the previous month, and then we'll close things up with the investment graph. So dividends paid this month. My FXAIX position, it's not the craziest month in the world for the month of July, but got $63 there and $11.08 from Coca-Cola. So brings my full annual total so far up to $737. SPAXX total from the money market fund, $3,000, so $3,700 and change. Highest dividend month still at $301. Average dividends per month at $61.46. So pretty cool. When I look back, dividend history, $910 last year, $1,800 in SPAXX. Really just, bare minimum for paying attention overall. I mean, I guess maybe this is a little bit more than the bare minimum, but when I really started just focusing on where my money was going, I've already seen major benefits in it. So I'm happy overall with where things are going. And then finally, my investment graph. So this is where I actually was for value at the end of, actually I took it on Saturday, August 1st. So I was at $105,482. So roughly $6,000 increase from June to July. I still love seeing that trend. Same thing for my investment graph over time. Overall total investments went up roughly just under $9,000. So continue to see that climbing year or month over month, which is great. My quarterly dividend payouts, obviously I'm still in the middle of a quarter right now, but this is a great way to just kind of see the dividend snowball taking effect, reinvesting all my dividends to see how quarter over quarter they compare when you look at Q1 of this year versus Q1 of last year, Q2 of last year versus Q2 of this year. And then the major difference is going to, or really when we get to start to compare apples to apples, is Q3 of 2025 versus Q3 of 2026. I really just started paying attention to this account in Q2 of 2025. back in June of last year, where this dividend portfolio had $32,000. So we'll start to see the major differences there. When we look at my total dividends per year, I'm slowly climbing up towards my total of 2025. So that is everything for this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you like about the portfolio, what you don't like, where you think the housing market's going, where you think the stock market's going overall. I'd love to hear any thoughts on it. So appreciate you guys for making it this far if you did. And yeah, see ya in a future video. See ya.